Hey gang, I just want to say first off, apologies that it's been a couple of weeks since I last posted. I just want to give you a quick update on the reason for that. So, as you've probably seen in my previous video playing over at Bay Hill in Orlando, which was fantastic by the way, but on the flight home, while reaching up into the overhead locker, I actually pulled my back, which has actually left me in no fit state to play any golf, go to the gym, anything. So I was advised to rest up. But before I get into any of that, I just want to remind you, please, if you haven't already, to click subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos that are coming up. Now I'm feeling a bit better to be able to play, so you can keep up with my journey to scratch. But like being said, thanks for all the great feedback as well about that video I was just mentioning, playing in the Pro-Am at Bay Hill. It was absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, after some massages, a few trips to the chiropractor, and the most important thing, resting, I started to feel quite a bit better again. And so I thought, you know, I'll do the sensible thing and head straight out into the golf course for a club competition, which didn't go too swimmingly, to be honest with you. But I'm back in it now and really looking forward to continuing on the journey. And I thought I need to bring a bit more jeopardy into this aiming for scratch challenge that I'm doing. So I've decided to do no haircut until I get my handicap cut, just to add that little bit more incentive to keeping up with this. And as you can tell, it's starting to get a bit longer. So after my truly calamitous round at my golf club, I decided to head back inside the sim room at my house, because let's face it, the weather here in England has been absolutely shocking this start of the year. It just seems to be raining every single day and not really fun to go outside and practice. But as I said, fortunately in my house I do have a GC quad and the FSX setup, which is able to give me a chance to practice. And then, as you can see here, I can log onto the website and see all the figures and stats of my round and my practice. So let's have a look. Right, so on this page it lists all the sessions I've had on the sim. I've linked a camera to record the swing on each shot as well. Okay, so in this session I was working on my driver, 3-wood, hybrid, 8-iron, 56 and 60-degree wedges. Then I can see where the shots were landing. Now the first thing I see here is the shots are landing on the left of centre, meaning that unfortunately I'm still hitting that left to right shot. Below is every shot's figure from distance to launch angle to how far offline it is. And then I can select a shot, like on this one, click on the video and see what the swing looked like here. Now to me, that looks quite speedy. I'll tell you what, let's compare it to this one. Okay, so on this one, I'm working on a shorter shot to working on making the swing out to in, hence the alignment stick here in the back of the camera. So after each of those practices, I thought I'm going to send one of these videos over to John Howes, my coach, so he can assess it and let me know what he thinks. I was actually heading out to Hong Kong, to the Hong Kong Rugby Sevens tournament, which was an amazing event, by the way. If you want to know more details about that, please check out my personal Instagram page, which is right here, or check out the YouTube channel of James and myself, which is linked below in the comments below. Before I went to Hong Kong, I sent John a video of one of my swings from these sessions to see what he had to say.
All right, dude. Thanks for sending this across. Yeah, way different, isn't it? You know, going back to, you know, where you started this journey with that club traveling, you know, 7-8 degrees in to out with a fairway wood or a hybrid, which is I think what you're practicing with here. It's just way different, and hopefully we can see a bit of the ball flight on this. Yeah, it looks very neutral for the initial part of the ball flight there. Looks like very little right to left curvature, which is a sure sign that we're getting the right kind of action on it. You can see it just with the way that the club comes down and how you get the hands tracking more outwards in this way in the downswing. The club path and the club shaft are not overly shallow or behind you, so it means that as you swing down, I know it's blurry and it's a little bit dark, but you can see the club sort of traveling just inside your hands. The shaft of the club is probably about there at that last point before P6, and then down through the ball it's traveling very straight, so really good. The only things that I would sort of be looking at now would be trying to maybe even just from what I see on this video, just tidying up that backswing and the head moving a little bit towards that blue line and past that blue line. So that means that there's a little bit of excessive movement of your upper body towards your right toes. Potentially you might be starting a little bit with your weight in your heels, and therefore you're drifting a little bit towards your toes. It just means that you have to then back up and stall your pivot a little bit in the downswing, because you're on your toes. You've kind of gone forward excessively. Because you've done that, you then have to stall your downswing pivot a little bit as you back up with your head. So it's just probably robbing you of a little bit of clearance and lower body movement. So what I mean by that, excuse me a second, I'm just landed in Orlando. I'm over here with Sam Horsfield this week, so a busy week. I just thought I'd jump in and literally just got into the room. So from down the line, practicing with some kind of wedge on your head, maybe a door frame or something like that just in front of you, and rehearsing back swings where you get yourself set up, get really balanced, so not too much weight on your toes or on your heels, get your balance nicely in the midfoot, and then shuffle your feet so that you feel like you're just barely on that door frame, right? And you can practice back swings, just turning in your torso bend like this and try and avoid your head going forward to touch the door frame, and then you can practice with a little grip, formed by your hands. Practice and rehearse the exact same thing. You'll probably feel the pressure going into your right heel as you do the backswing. But mate, honestly, your swing at the moment looks very, very neutral. My guess from what I saw on YouTube last week with the shots you hit at Bay Hill in the Pro-Am, looks like you're hitting it very, very neutral. You've just got to own that new movement now and own that feeling of the path being a lot more straight through impact, not having these big excessive right to left curvatures. So it's a case of, I know what I'm consciously aware of what I'm doing, but now you've got to own it, haven't you? You've got to try and, learn how to create those feels out on the golf course, and how to just slightly tweak the club face so that you're not pointing the club face slightly right or slightly left. The path is probably pretty consistent. The ball's just probably going in different directions with differences in the club face, so having some consistency around that. But yeah, from a swing improvement standpoint, I think it's just a case of really making sure you're staying in your tilts and you're not drifting forwards. Having a partner or a friend, maybe get him to put his palm of his hand just on your head there at address, and try and feel as though you might just lightly touch it in the backswing, but you're not going to press forward into it. All right, mate, give that a go. And look forward to seeing you up at JCB when I get back. All right, mate.
Morning before I see this video, I really was wishing the whole time that the maid wasn't going to walk in. It's just in my room here in Hong Kong and need to do a bit of practice on my swing. So doing on what John's told me. I'll set you there. I just hope no one in the neighbouring windows can see what's going on. So after an absolutely incredible trip to Hong Kong, which there's more details, as I said, on the YouTube channel in the links below or on my personal Instagram page, but it is an absolute must for any sports fan. Anyway, after trying not to nut the door frame too often, I returned home raring to go to get on the course. This time it was another competition, but it was a monthly Stableford, and being honest with you, I absolutely love Stableford competitions, and I prefer this format over medals, especially when I'm working on my game, because let's face it, if you have a blowout on one hole, the whole card isn't completely over. Now, I'm not making any excuses right now, but there were very, very high winds and I had to get over to the practice area to warm up. And as you can see, I was starting a few swings and it was starting to come together, or so I felt. Again, trying my best not to lean forward in the swing, but the thing I've been thinking of while going through this is actually having a set plan for the warm-up, so that's something that I'm going to have to work on in the future. Next was the side-on view, where I can already tell from watching this back that the backswing is getting quicker and quicker, so that's definitely something that I need to work on. Also, another thing I took notice from my trip to Bay Hill a few weeks ago was that when I was on the practice range, I used to see the pros and how they play their shots in a straight line to protect the practice ground. And it's actually very satisfying. I didn't realise it at the time, but the GoPro's mic wasn't working well at all. Well, actually, it wasn't. But what I was trying to say was that the warm-up went well. Now, off to the first tee. It started easy enough. Unfortunately, the camera wasn't behaving, but then again, nor was my game. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. For the last couple of weeks, I have been testing out the Arcos Link, which is a great bit of kit that shows my shots from around the course. And looking back on here, I can see how the front nine was, how it was pretty much a scattergun of shots. And talking of a scattergun, here's my card. Looking at this, the shots are more over to the left, which is telling me that I need to work on the new swing a lot more. But as bad as the front nine was, the back nine started okay, and it's a great feeling when you get a 4 on a really hard par 4 to start the back nine rolling. And the back nine went far better with birdies and pars, and yes, there was trouble on the 17th with the water. And like normal, you finish on a good score, so finishing on a good par on the 18th there just made me feel, you know what, my game isn't far off. It just needs a slight bit of adjusting, and maybe I just need to see how different people do it, how different people work better to get to that better stage. So I've actually made a couple of phone calls, and I've got some people lined up who are going to help me out with my game, so I'll be showing you that in the next couple of episodes coming up. But for now, guys, like I said, it was just a brief catch-up, a brief update onto what's been going on with me. The back's feeling much better. The haircut is getting a bit bad right now, but hopefully the haircut will be coming very soon, with also getting cut on the handicap. But for now, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope your game is coming together. Or even better, if you're just starting out on your golfing journey, I hope you've been able to learn what not to do from watching today's episode. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week. Like I said, it was really just a quick update into what's been going on with me in the last couple of weeks. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that your game is coming together, or even better, you're actually starting out on your golfing journey as well. If you haven't already, just remember to please click subscribe so you don't miss those upcoming episodes with the new guys I've got coming in. And I need to say some shout outs as well. Please remember, if you want to shout out or let me know what's happening on your golf journey, please log on over to the social media channels, and please let me know on this handle here for Instagram and this handle here for TikTok. Okay, so the first shout out is Lizzie, who is telling me how she has just enrolled in her school golf camp this coming spring, and she's really excited for it. So Lizzie, good luck with that. I hope it all goes really well for you. And a very interesting question from Guy, who actually said to me, Oliver, when are you actually hoping to get to scratch? Honest answer, Guy, I don't know. I was looking originally at saying, right, inside of a year, I'm going to get to scratch. But from research, from speaking to different people who've attempted it or actually done it, it is quite an all-consuming thing. And I actually want to still enjoy the game and not make it feel like a job. So it's going to be a bit longer than a year, but I guarantee you, Guy, I will get there. But in between getting there and right now, guys, stay safe. I hope whatever it is you're getting up to all goes really well. Keep being your best, keep being fantastic, and keep aiming for scratch.